I'm here to do a pick a pile oracle / tarot reading message from the ancestors for the partial solar eclipse in Taurus. So that's going to be at 27 degrees, I believe. So you can check that degree in your natal chart to see directly and specifically how that will affect you. If you want me to do that for you and give you an eclipse reading, I do those for you. You can reach out to me here by leaving a comment, going to my Instagram page and DMing me. Those will be $44. Or you could get a reading similar to this, oracle / tarot, message from the ancestors on what to expect, and that is $44 as well. So let's dive in. Just putting these cards up front so that you can choose which pile you want. Each pile will get every deck. Okay? So starting with pile 1, and just going with the energy of the card, you know, the crown, the yellow. This is the oracle, or the goddess guidance oracle deck. Pile 2 will be the Arcana of Astrology deck, and then pile 3 is the Power Animal Oracle deck. Okay, so let's get into some, I guess what I want to say is the first card for each pile is going to be the theme for the eclipse. Pile 1, bold, unleash your adventurous side, take risks and be daring. I feel like those who chose this pile might see their this full moon occur in their first house. It might be transiting their first house, so there might be like bold new style. Also bold creations, so it might be lighting up your 5th house, transiting your 5th house this full moon, or excuse me, new moon, partial solar eclipse in Taurus. And remember, it's all about new beginnings, so maybe fresh, new, bold look. Sometimes it's unexpected, sudden beginnings. But yeah, I also see that maybe this is transiting your 10th house or 11th house, you know, putting yourself out on the internet, or, you know, the 11th house rules fame too, so maybe that is striking one of these houses for those of you that picked this pile. Let's see what else is coming forth. That's really interesting. Just pulled 10th house for you. So yeah, you may be called to take some bold risks in your career, maybe some career changes. Maybe the sudden change is coming to you is that you find out that your company is closing, and this is an opportunity for you to do something adventurous. Maybe you've always wanted to write for a travel publication, and you really want to sell all your things or put them in storage and hit the road. So the ancestor that is bringing this message through is the Magician. So yeah, you're really being asked with this new moon eclipse. I hope I don't keep saying full moon. I think I might. New moon, partial solar eclipse in Taurus, which is all about our resources and stuff. Yeah, conjuring up, you know, a way to center your career, maybe this new career, and to make money from it. Resources from it, but in a new, unique, interesting way, in a way where you're really stepping into your own, feeling this energy of maybe even entrepreneurship, not working for yourself anymore. So yeah, feel like there's going to be a lot of like magic and creation for you, opportunity around that with this eclipse. Let's see what else is coming through. We'll pull a Power Animal Oracle card for guidance. 10th house is also about stepping out in a, you know, public way, and it rules over our public image. So whatever is happening, whatever thing that is occurring with the eclipse could be around you achieving some public fame or in some way, or some recognition, awards, something like that at work, a raise. Okay, so I don't really necessarily see it all as people leaving, but it depends. Is your career centered around your soul's purpose? This eclipse really feels like it's pushing you toward where you really should be if you're not there, where it knows that your true heart's desire craves to be, wishes to be, right? So sometimes when we are not going in that direction, we can, sudden and what seems like, scary change that comes often from eclipses are really for our best. Not that we should fear these, but sometimes it's just like, whoa, unexpected, or really shakes things up. But I really want to honor the fact that it's usually around stuff that we wanted or needed some shifts around, and it's kind of like that extra bump, that extra help, right, that we needed to move forward. Okay, so that's kind of like the eclipse energy, the example I gave of like your company closing. Like, okay, maybe it's not something that you would have planned or that you would have liked, but something that is really going to, in the future, the near future and long-term future, really be of your benefit and for your benefit. Okay, like maybe they were going bankrupt, it feels like one of these energy for some of you who picked this pile, that it's like really was for your best. Okay, I do think that some who picked the pile are staying, they're in their career, or they're in their career that is honoring their soul's purpose. Also got Queen of Fire, pile 1, confident, warm, intelligent, graceful, stretch your wings and fly, don't underestimate yourself, assert your independence and creativity. So that really goes with Freya and her boldness. I always get this Leo energy with his sign, and the suit of fire is obviously associated with the fire signs. So really putting yourself out there, and maybe you have an idea on a way that you hope or wish to do that, or that you've been thinking about doing that, and if so, this is real validation to go forward with those plans. Okay, also got strength, great inner strength, the release harsh judgments, forgiveness, and compassion. Yeah, so if you are leaving a job for any reason, just really sending it away with positivity. Remember, it's kind of like that energy when we're giving away our things, right? We are lovingly giving it away. We can, say goodbye, part ways with something that isn't great for us, to move on to something better with loving energy, right? And it may take some strength to walk away from it, some strength to grieve what you are leaving behind. But it doesn't feel too heavy. It almost feels like it feels like it carries energy with it of boring. I don't know why I'm getting this like energy of boredness. Also, there I want to point out the cat, the lion, the whatever that is, lynx. I don't really know. In the Freya card, and then really getting strong like Leo energy from this too, because we also have the lion, right? The lion is often, when in balance, really bold and can put themselves out there. There's fire elements coming through this. And it's really, the lion takes advantage, right, of this moment in time. So this new change that is coming to your 10th house, that is coming to your career, you're really being called on by the ancestral archetype of the magician ancestor to make some magic, create some magic with this this gift you've been given, which I think is a shift around career that may be unexpected. It could be a shift around your public image. The 10th house also rules mother's family. Sometimes if you look at someone's chart, it's father's family, lineages, but we're going to stick with it since I don't know, I'm not looking at your chart, and I'm also just getting that energy too. And there's a lot of like how we are, like our relationship we have with our bosses sometimes mirrors and mimics the relationship that we had or have with our mother. And so there can be a lot of healing and work maybe that's necessary around that coming up with this eclipse. But there's, really stepping into your boldness, stepping into your strength, right? Your power. And, Leo rules 5th house, so I think it might affect 5th house, 10th house, like I said, even 11th house, because that's like stepping out into a social media presence and even public fame. But yet going back to the 5th house, I feel like there's a lot of like creative energy with this. So maybe like you were at a tech job where you were doing all computer stuff and that wasn't really living your soul's purpose. And so now this shakeup, this change, or maybe it's like your partner's making more money and they said to you, you can leave this job and go after what you want because I can pick up some of the slack, whatever shift, it can manifest in so many different ways. But there's like some idea of you stepping back into something that's, yes, your soul's purpose, and that allows you to creatively express yourself. Okay. What else? Let's pick, we'll pick another. Anything. 2nd house. Okay, yeah. So also seeing changes to finances, and really also going back to that strength though, and that confidence, okay, that the lion has, and that a good placed Leo, an aspected Leo has, right? Confidence and so I feel like and the 2nd house isn't just about finances, it's also about how we value ourselves, okay? And so that might have some shifts, right? This whole you like moving into creative self-expression might really shift how you value yourself, how you think of yourself. And the creative self-expression might be something that you can, make a career out of, but that also, makes you good money, right? Because you could have all the 10th house things in the world, but that doesn't necessarily, it could bring you public fame even, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to bring you money. But since we pulled this, I feel like this pile with the eclipse is really going to see a shift to their finances, to their resources, and that, magician ancestors asking you to step into, your bold inner strength, into your creative, that creative magic that maybe you've been holding in, okay? And 10th house is also, right, public image. It wants you to bring it out. Like, this is the top half of the chart, right? Once is where you're going to be seen. So this is something, you are bringing the world, you are showing to the world, okay? But it also is going to shift the private inner part of your world, how you value yourself. And oftentimes those are linked. We try and hope that they're not so linked, right? We want to know and find value in other things, in not monetizing things and just doing things for the fun of it. But that's not really what's going on with this pile, with this coming up. So yeah, I think we are gonna end there. Pile 1. I feel like this is a really like exciting, really just roll with the changes, because it feels like it's gonna really light up your 10th house and your 2nd house, and it would really be interesting for you to check in to your chart and see if that's accurate for you. Since that energy came up, just extra validation. Even if it's not, I really see that for pile 1. Yeah, 10,000 2nd house are gonna light up, and that's really exciting. Get ready for the change, and I'm excited for you. If you want a more personalized reading, you can reach out to me. You can go to my Instagram page. And they're $44. Okay, so pile 2, we are gonna dive right in. So how funny, the theme for your partial solar eclipse in Taurus is lunar eclipse, which is the illuminator. So this really means that this eclipse is likely to reveal something to you. And it doesn't always have to be scary, right? Sometimes we need to know what is going on, okay? So that we can change our lives, so that we can make shifts, so that we can move in a different direction, right? Sometimes it's just like, the stuff that we didn't know that we needed to know, okay? So it's interesting because it has, again, opposite energy. And since this is a new moon partial solar eclipse in Taurus, I see it as like whatever you learn is going to lead to some new beginning for you, some fresh new start. So again, right, we don't always have to fear that. That actually feels like exciting and feels good, right? Yeah, so it feels like you might learn, I picked this pile, we might learn a lesson, right? This new revealing truth is going to be a teacher to us about where we need to go, about the direction that we need to go. I'm also feeling this come in as the teacher ancestral archetype. So the new beginning for you may be that you become a teacher from what it is you learn. Maybe what's revealed to you is that you have a deep desire for teaching, or a deep talent for teaching, or that you're in need of a teacher in some aspect or way of your life. I kind of want to pull another Arcana of our astrology card. Yeah, and I just love this image. Feels like it wants to be said coming through, like you helping show people the way, you looking to someone to help them show you the way. Wow, this is really great. So this could be astrology, since the 8th house just came through. It could be you helping teach and give people knowledge around death and dying, anything around the occult. It could be tax. Maybe you're great with taxes, or you're an accountant and it'll be a new tax course that you're going to release. Maybe you're going to receive a surprise inheritance that you weren't expecting. Or you may see a loss. Maybe you have been a single parent you've been a parent at home, and your partner has been, paying the bills and everything, right? This is kind of other people's money, so maybe there's been a strong dependence, not that there's anything wrong, no judgment on that, on other people's money. I'm certainly going through this shift and this new revealing thing. So maybe you find out that your partner lost their job. Okay, so this affects, if your partner loses their job, that affects 8th house for you, because that's their money. It's going to affect 2nd house for you too, because it's your money, and if their money was your money, but it can manifest in so many ways. So it could be inheritance, like receiving one, also back to like taxes, like maybe you're getting a bit, you're receiving a large sum from your taxes, or having to pay one, right? And there's like some real lessons being learned from this, or maybe you have finally learned a lesson. Like maybe you went your whole life not paying your taxes, and like this is the eclipse where you have finally learned your lesson, right? Eclipses are usually like when the time is coming around for us to really it's like a check-in, like have you learned, and sometimes it's stuff that like we have been through, and depending on the cycle, and we had the first of the cycle in November 2021, I think November 19th. So I pulled to see, so you can look back to that time to see any like repeats or any cycles. Before we pulled this 8th house, I did pull to see what this reveal was about, and it's really interesting that the moon is here, because typically in the tarot, the moon is, like a secret or a discovery, like something that we didn't know. It could also mean that you have important psychic insights that are coming through, and like it really feels like, okay, you're gonna move in one direction for sure, and then this thing happens, or this thing is revealed, and you're like, okay, now like again, like I said before, now I'm moving in this direction. Okay. And it could be things that you discover, like entanglements you have with other people's money, like a business partner maybe you discover hasn't been paying their taxes, or maybe a business partner put you in their will, and they pass away. I don't like to put out, so much heavy energy on predicting those things, but the 8th house also has to do with death. It has to do with inheritances, so I felt like it needed to be said. Also got 4 of water, missing an opportunity, discontentment, or boredom. Open your eyes to the possibilities. So I feel like, some in this pile may have been feeling like a little bit bored, and this eclipse is really going to shake things up for the people here. And, this is always like, can be a call to like, recognize what you do have in your life. Stay really present, right? The spilt cups are spilled, but look at this cup is still standing, full and strong. So recognizing what you still have, finding gratitude in your lessons, in your teachings. And there's this energy I'm feeling here of really like, in human design, I have a line of like being the experimenter, and often that can come out like in society we don't really praise someone who's experimenting, because we see that when the things don't work out, it's not just like they were trying it and it didn't work out, it's failure, right? But when you're someone like me trying so many things, how can you really fail? You're just seeing what fits. So there's that energy here, like this teacher ancestral teacher archetype energy wants you to know that all of these lessons have a purpose. The death, the dying off, the things that we lose and that you may be losing with this reveal that is coming to light, is purposeful. It has a purpose. Okay, and going back to 8th house things, like me, I'm moving really much deeper into my astrology studies, and that totally relates and makes sense and resonates for me here. So it could be that you're moving deeper into more occult things, start studying those things. Maybe you have a revealing discovery around your sexuality or your sexual desires. Okay, that's around the 8th house too. So it can manifest in so many ways. I kind of want to pull another one to see. I wanted like a house or something. Well, I guess the house gives us an idea of where it's at, so maybe it's my fault for like pulling too much, but we're just gonna go with it. So lots of moons going on. Waning crescent, Wow, interesting. Really goes with 8th house and energy because it's about endings, okay? And so whatever it is that is ending, that is, I think the reveal is going to end something for those of us in this pile. But remember, after an ending is always a new beginning. So it's just really making space, okay? This is a balsamic moon. Very familiar with this. I was born during this moon. So yeah, it's about, and this is recommended for everybody, but really a reminder for this pile. And it's so funny because I have so many planets in the 12th house right now, which is all about rest and recuperation. Eclipses, I'm going to slow down as I say that. Eclipses are really call for rest and recuperation, okay? So that's really coming forth and coming through. For this pile, leaning into it, not feeling lazy, knowing that you're going to have a time that comes. Again, this is so great. What were we saying? Coyote wise will accept your follies and find the teaching in them. So lesson. So really feeling this energy of it. And it may be like something happens to bring this up, or it may be like you finally feel closure around this. Like, hey, I'm just living my life. I'm not making mistakes. I'm trying things. Okay? So really like not harping on that about yourself, if that resonates for you. That's so just amazing that came through. I really love that. Yeah, there's the teacher teaching. So lots of lessons, teaching, and teacher energy, because often when we have learned a lot, we can teach others. And what may you teach others about? 8th house things. Sex, death, and taxes. That's what everybody calls it. But death, loss, grieving, the occult, astrology, magic. What else is occult? You know, oracle, tarot, fairy stuff. I don't know if fairy stuff considered occult. I feel like it is. But you know what I mean? It doesn't, I hate to limit it. I wish I could think of everything just because I want, you know, it to be covered. But look up all 8th house things. And I always encourage, look up lots of interpretations, because there are so many different interpretations of the houses. I think it's important to, if you feel called to it, to really get detailed things like in ancestral astrology, which is, I don't even know if that's a thing. I might have just created it, but 8th house is one of the houses of our ancestors, so it's one that I look to in my inheritance in the birth chart readings for sure. And it could be, you know, another sign that the 8th house is known ancestors. Known or unknown? Oh, I can't remember. But I was going to say maybe that's we can use that as another sign to tell us who's coming through. But if I can't thoroughly remember, then I won't speak to it. But it is a water house, so lots of ancestral energy coming through. And also have the fish in this pile. So there may be like, yeah, you know, we talked about the boredom here. I think there's lots of restless, like, bored energy, like wanting to get started with something, not being able to get started, having a lot of ideas, having this thing. Is that a waning crescent? That's funny. And there's nothing that maybe this pile wants more than to be busy, than to have tasks, than to feel excuse me, purposeful. Okay? And that's great. But the fish can really be a call to like, okay, well, I get that you want to be purposeful, but maybe hone in on something. What is really purposeful to you? Okay, you want to feel purposeful. Well, what do you want to put energy and time in. So there could be this energy of like losing focus, of not really feeling clear on what it is that you want. And maybe this 8th house thing is helping direct you. Maybe it's helping guide you toward your talents, okay? And since, you know, waning crescent, balsamic moon, maybe 8th house is also about endings and death. Maybe we help people with their endings, okay? We help people experience their endings. And maybe the missed opportunity is that we're not realizing that we can create like abundance in career, and we can help others from our missed opportunities, from our experience of death and loss and grief, okay? But the fish is really like, I know you have a lot of ideas. I know that you're excited about them, but when you move so much, when you flit on from one thing to the next, it loses its potency. So what things do you want to really like prioritize? And yeah, but it's also validated, you know, the fact that you are so interested in so many things is validated as wonderful and beautiful by the teacher, by the ancestors. But maybe this eclipse will help you focus in on this one thing. Maybe the revealing piece of information for this new beginning is that, oh my goodness, I would love to be a death doula, right? So that's kind of like, I feel like that was complete and really good. I picked that pile. That was very interesting. Okay. And if you want a more personalized reading, let me know. $44. Okay. Pile 3. The theme, interesting, similar to pile 1. The theme may be different. Yeah, it's coming through as different already. Is lion courage. Ask for what you want. Okay, so pile 3, this eclipse might really illuminate your throat chakra, might really see you like, oh, I kind of feel like a fed up, had enough energy, and maybe it's like, oh, that's way too many. Okay, we're just gonna take this one. Yeah, so I feel like ask for what you want out of your home life. Okay, so this is really, this eclipse might be happening in your 4th house, might be happening in Cancer, or no, it's happening in Taurus. Might be have an interesting aspect to your own moon. Check into your chart if you feel called. But yeah, asking for what you want in your home life and out of a home, out of a house. This pile might be purchasing a new home, moving into a new home, looking at a new home, and really like owning, okay? I'm hearing like owning what you want out of it and that you are deserving of it. Also could be asking for what you want and what you need, and expressing what healing there needs to be to parents. Okay, the 4th house rules parents. It also could be just your mother, just your father. I tend to go with more 4th house father energy, which I switched, and sometimes I switch back and forth, which is a nutty, I know, but feeling like it could go either way for this pile right now, the energy that's coming through. Let's see if the ancestor has, oh, very interesting, anything to say. Yeah, to me that tells me it's either way, because this is giving off male and this is giving off female. So for those of you in your pile, it could be like a conversation you need to standing up to both your parents or to your mother and the women in your lineage or family, or in your home. Okay, 4th house is like home, so it could be roommates, could be your sister, could be, I don't think like sister, but yeah. Or it could be standing up to the men in your family, the father figure, the people in your father's lineage, okay, your father's lineage. So there's a possibility for that too. And yeah, so the animal ancestor coming through, like if you've been wanting to make a change, which it feels like there is going to be, Uranus can be unexpected change, using your instincts about which way to go from here, okay? Again, eclipse energy can have us seeing like unexpected shifts and change to areas that it's affecting. So look to your chart, 27 degrees Taurus, but I feel like some who have picked this pile, it's going to affect and happen in their 4th house. Uranus also can see some, like, maybe you are changing the decor in your home, and you're making it more like unique and personal and funky and your own. Yeah, because ruled by Aquarius, and I'm just like feeling that funky, cool energy. And if you've been wanting to do that, then this is like a yes. Paint your room yellow. I did that in high school like a crazy nut. And you just got unity, traditional viewpoints and methods, spiritual organizations, seek out mentors, and like-minded friends. Okay, so I'm also getting the energy, also because Uranus came up, this new moon eclipse might have occurred in your, or be occurring in your 11th house. So you may see yourself joining new groups. And when you are looking for them, you know, seek out people who, yeah, are into what you are into, who are like-minded. There's this idea with this 4th house energy here that, like, and Uranus, like, your ideas about life and about everything you learned from your parents might really be shifting right now. Okay, I was feeling earlier like a lot younger energy in this pile, but it doesn't have to be younger energy. Honestly, younger or older, you know, like, and what's older? It doesn't really matter, but I guess, like, I'm feeling different energy in this pile from the people watching. Like, some of you, this is the first time you're learning this. Some of you, maybe this is your 10th time and you're like, all right, I finally get it. I'm finally moving away from and having like sudden change around, yeah, the thoughts that I was raised with and the beliefs and, you know, the spiritual and religious and financial and the things that they told me about myself. And that's going to have some change, and it's going to be unique and individual and all your own. Like I said, if you're young, it could be like you're going to change your room. And that's going to express how you are. Like if you're still living with your parents, or if you have already left home and maybe you don't even talk to them anymore, this eclipse might just stir up some inner child work around that, right? Working with the inner child usually I would feel like is 5th house, but because the 4th house covers like the parents and your roots, there could be some shifts around that. You may be really called to study your ancestry, to heal inherited trauma, generational trauma. If so, you can get a reading with me, or you can work with me in my 6-week program. It's amazing. That's always an option with the 4th house, and if the eclipse is touching your 4th house, then you might really feel that strong desire to seek a mentor to have around, like, how do I go about looking at inherited trauma, generational trauma, what I inherited, my ancestry, my roots. And that could be inherited trauma resolution and mean like getting a reading with me, or it could mean like looking into your Irish descent, or going on ancestry.com, or talking to someone safe in your family who has this information, whatever. But I feel that mentor coming back around again might really be about 4th house things. Okay, so could manifest either way here. Yeah, Mary Magdalene you got from the Goddess Guidance Oracle deck. Unconditional love. Love yourself, others, in every situation, no matter what the outward appearance may be. So I'm feeling this, like, almost has, like, forgiveness energy if you are going to do, like, that ancestral work and that family work, there is this energy, and of course I'm not ever going to tell you to forgive an abuser, no. But there is this energy of like understanding what made them make the decisions they made that put you into the place that you are today, right? Having compassion and empathy for, wow, maybe they were in a really shitty situation when they made this decision. It does not forgive them. It helps me understand them, right? Or it does not mean what they did was okay. It helps me understand them. So, yeah. And you don't, of course, you don't have to offer unconditional love, but I just kind of feel like compassion, understanding for at least the parts of them that maybe were trying their best. And for you, for what you had to do, right? Growing up, the fourth house is like early childhood and what we experienced in our childhood. And it's also, some believe, later in life. So that kind of comes around again. So this might be up for review for you, so that when you do get to that later point in your life, that you feel that you have done some work. You feel like you have moved through, healed it. It's not still a pain for you, right? And it may always be a pain in some small way, but hopefully, I guess, one that's not. What is the purpose of trauma work? Is so that it's not ruling your day-to-day. It's not ruling your everyday life. Okay. So could be some healing around that for this pile. Yeah, I got the snake. So what that tells me is that there's great potential for healing on or around this time. And again, seeking out a mentor could be spiritual, could be therapist, could be inherited trauma resolution, whatever sounds good to you. And if you want more suggestions, let me know in the comment section and I'll drop some more. But you should really, do whatever you feel called to and feels resonant for you. But there's this the snake comes with unawakened potential and energy here, and it feels like it could go many ways. Back to the decoration of the home, like maybe you have untapped decorative potential. What is that? Creative design or interior design, excuse me. That you want to tap into. Maybe that's the new thing that's revealed to you. Maybe you have untapped skills for selling homes, for building homes, for contracting homes, for designing homes, for homemaking, for cooking, for raising kids, for having a family. Maybe this eclipse is gonna you never thought you wanted a family, and it's gonna be boom, all of a sudden you want a family. There's some energy of untapped, yes, creative potential, but potential for this fourth house life, for your home life, to really flourish. And if it resonates, for your relationship with your parents or father and father's lineage to really flourish. And if that's not a possibility, please listen to the other possible manifestations. It really is so different for everybody, how it might be, and that's what's coming through. So whatever resonates for you the most, it could be multiple. So yeah, something untapped, again, could be interior design, something like that. Also untapped potential for healing, ancestry, roots. Maybe this problem that you have long had, you don't realize has a generational root to it, and a reading with me or doing the course, excuse me, the Roots Rewoven course with me could really, bring that up, and we can create a healing path for you. But yeah, there's something untapped about this energy around the fourth house, or this desire to interior design, or to create, or to study, again, your ancestry, or to, some sort of working with magic around sorry. Yeah. Okay, so it could really be like a gift that comes, I'm hearing now more, this is a gift that comes from the mother, if this resonates. So tapping into like a gift, an unawakened magic that comes directly from the mother's lineage, might really come to light with this partial solar eclipse in Taurus. Really look to 27 degrees Taurus and maybe give you an idea of a little bit more about what might come through. We only pulled one of those. We can probably pull another. Let's see, like what's maybe what this gift is around. Yeah, okay. So maybe it's something that you feel like, similar. And this often happens with eclipses. Like this eclipse may end something for you, or something may not go exactly the way that you thought that it would, but there is this untapped gift available. So this gift may come from a huge shift or change to your home situation, okay? Or a huge shift or change in some, inner child work. But there is some energy here of like something that once was painful, something that once was a wound, or, is a wound, but that you have made great progress on, that you didn't always see as a positive, and certainly wasn't a positive when it happened, has really shifted and manifested into something that you can use to help. You're learning from this experience in order to help sorry, a lot was coming through. In order to help other people. So maybe there's this like you becoming a child therapist, you helping other people to do inner child work, to heal. To heal from fourth house things. So to heal from any parental wounds. Okay. Having Aphrodite in the inner goddess comes through makes me feel like it doesn't seem like it's going to be like a direct thing. It's more like, again, like going back to also that really speaks to like interior design, home design again. So if that resonated with you, also like feeling very strong that this eclipse is going to highlight fourth house talents. Venus is around talents, so really stepping into this Aphrodite role, Venusian role, and also being really comfortable finding pleasure in things, right? Finding pleasure in your home. You may likely find this eclipse that you are finding lots of pleasure spending time with your parents, spending time working on the inner child, and healing things around home, childhood, parents, maybe even fixing things around your house. But there's also this energy of, some of you possibly stepping into this role of, like a coach that helps people do inner child work, but maybe they do it through painting or making art or dancing. Like your approach to it is different. Like if I looked at your account, it wouldn't look like that's what you do. But really you heal like the inner child, right? You heal these parental wounds, if that makes sense. Okay. So I think that's it. That felt like it was it for pile 3, and happy eclipse. If you want to get a reading from me, let me know. They're $44 for a chart reading and $44 for a card reading. You can get one or both. And yeah, thanks for joining me. If any of this resonated, like, comment, subscribe. I would love to hear from you. Bye. See you next time.